I've been thinking about Masika for a week. And the reason why is because many, many years ago, I was dating this guy, right? And every time I would go over to his house to see him, he would talk to me about her all of the time. And I think it was because he may have been interested in her, wanted to be with her or something like that. And so just recently, like a week ago, I started thinking about him and that experience in her. Of course, we was in Atlanta, so she was in our social circle, and I think he was like trying to get at her or something. So today, I get on Instagram. I was thinking about her this morning. I don't know why. I was thinking about Fetty Wap for some reason as well. And I've been thinking about both of them for a week. And so this morning, I get up and I see this. And this type of things happens to me all of the time, where I'll be thinking about a person, a place, a thing, and I'll see an update about what's happening in their life. It does it every single time. It's not always something bad like this, but it's usually something that has to do with them in some kind of way. Like I'll think of a content creator where I think about their content and how I haven't seen it in a while, and I don't even say anything out loud. I don't say, I just think about it. And suddenly, the energy will pull that person in. Whatever I'm thinking about in my mind that's in relation to my own life, somehow it applies to something that has to do with their life. So, for example, the headline says that her husband, estranged husband, passes away in a car accident, right? All I've been thinking about for the past couple of months is how life is too short. And when I see people like breaking up or being in separation, like people have like kingdom spouses, and sometimes God will like separate them to prepare them for each other. And I kept thinking about, fallouts that I had with friends and people that I care about, that I don't want there to be distance between us because I feel like life is too short. And that's all I've been really thinking about for the past month. And I remember posting it on Facebook saying, life is too short. Clear the air with people. Like, you never know what's going to happen to them. You never know. You might wake up one morning and they're no longer in your physical experience. And you have to factor that in when you are holding grudges or you're angry or, you aren't trying to make your way back to each other if you have separated from each other, because, your energy brings people to you for a reason. Like the people that you're interested in, the people that you're talking to, people that you're connected to those people for a reason. It's an energy thing. I decided to make a video about this because this type of phenomenon happens to me all of the time. And I'm teaching quantum mechanics and metaphysics and the energy of life and God's energy and vibration and everything and frequency. And a lot of times people don't understand what that means because they're not like a big science geek like me. I'm really, really big into science. I love science. I can talk to you guys about religion all of the time, but there's another aspect of how we live as people. The way that it looks on the outside, like physically in front of you, there's so much more happening behind that. And I try every day to explain that to people. And this particular experience right here is something that energetically I pulled in. This doesn't have anything to do with Masika, by the way. Prayers out to her. My heart goes out to her, really. But I wanted to use this as an example of how your fears can manifest into reality, and it doesn't even have to be your life that it affects. So you have to make sure that positively you have this thought process where you're not attracting certain things. All I did was attract the opportunity to see what was happening in her life. That's how life projects itself. Whatever it is that you're thinking, you perceive reality in that way. So you're probably thinking, but why did my mind pull in Masika specifically? Why not a random woman whose husband passed away in a car accident? And if we create our reality, does that mean I somehow caused what happened to her? The answer is no. Here's what's really going on, okay?
When you feel a strong emotion, your brain starts working like a search engine. It uses something called associative recall and emotional encoding, meaning it looks through all of your memories to find the people or moments that carry the same emotional tone. I'd been thinking about loss, separation, and making peace before it's too late. That emotion lit up a certain network in my brain, the one connected to people from my past who represented unfinished energy. Okay, Masika was already linked to that emotional pattern from years ago. So she popped up in my head. Then when I opened my phone and I saw the story about her husband, not because I caused it, but that event existed outside of me, of course. My awareness just aligned with information that matched that energy I was processing. And that's called attentional alignment. When your focus tunes into what already exists. So I didn't create tragedy. I simply became aware of something that resonated with the lesson my spirit was already learning. That life is fragile, forgiveness matters, and timing is everything in the 3D. Okay? Now, side note, there are also levels of consciousness that shape how we experience reality. The 3D level is physical. It's where time feels linear and everything seems separate. But creation doesn't really start in 3D. It begins in 4D and 5D, which are higher states of awareness. In 4D, we create through imagination and emotion. That's our inner world. In 5D, we move into unity, alignment, and intuitive knowing. And that's where manifestation becomes instant because time is irrelevant there. So while something may appear to happen later in 3D, in 4D, and 5D, it's already been created. We're just catching up to it in 3D. So 3D is basically a lagged experience because it's matter. It takes time to mold matter. It's like clay. But your 4D and your 5D, you instantly create experiences in your mind. And what your mind does, because your mind is like mostly interpretation and perception, basically, what you're viewing and what you're experiencing is basically your mind perceiving stuff. It's 80% of your perception of reality, not what's really happening, because everyone has their individual reality that they are experiencing all at one time.
It creates the projection. And I just wanted to use this as an example. And every time it happens and I got time to record about it, I will. It happens all of the time, but this just happened right before I started recording. So it was a good time to use this as an example. It's a sad story, but in my mind, I had been thinking something this sad because I kept saying, I miss my friend and I don't want to leave here without talking to him first or us clearing the air first, things like that. I think about that. Even if we don't decide to be friends again or we decide that we're not going to be together or whatever, I still feel like we should be cordial. And so because I was thinking like that, I pulled in that type of experience. And this is a small example, but I do want people to understand that this happens to me all of the time and it's happening to you subconsciously. A lot of times you're not even paying attention because you're living your life. You're not even really out here paying attention. But this is what I teach, the phenomenon of this and how you get to control your environment a lot more than you think.